So I just got a call from someone who's going to become a client on Monday. We're going to be doing some digital ads and building a website for him, who I basically spoke to 3 years ago. He reminded me, shopping around for a website. And his big interest was getting leads, which is something we hear a lot, getting new clients to notice him and to then find out information, which is what a website's really good for. So at the time, he decided to go with someone who sold him this idea of he's going to provide a lot of guaranteed leads and qualifying stuff, which sounds great. But what ended up happening was that this gentleman ended the person he hired built a website for him on his own domain. So basically, the domain is the www dot whatever it is. If you don't own that, it's like building a house on someone else's land. So when this client who we're starting with on Monday decided, I don't want to go with you anymore, there was some sketchy practices and stuff involved, the guy told him, well, I'm keeping your website and I'm not gonna give it back to you. So that domain that he'd worked for 3 years building up information and stuff on, the website on it, the domain, they're gone. Again, to relate it to a house, it's like if you were living somewhere and then someone just showed up one day and said, get out, this is my property, and then you go check with the assessor's office and like, sure enough, it's not your property at all. This is something we've talked about, gosh, and over and over and over again, I see this happen where people pay a web developer or pay some sort of marketing agency, and they're like, yeah, we'll build you a website, but they skip over the part of, do you own your domain? A domain, by the way, is you can go to GoDaddy and buy a domain, usually for $11.99 per year. It costs almost nothing. Now, finding a domain that for you that exists that you want, if I wanted to get jrportman.com, I actually own that domain, but it's, if it's not available, I'd have to find something. That's the hard part, is just finding a domain. But it's one of the cheapest things you can do in marketing. Make sure you own your own domain, because otherwise, someone builds you a site, you have no keys to your castle. It's just a website is one of the few intellectual properties you can own out there. Everything you do on social media, that technically you don't own. But when you build a website, that's the one. You got to make sure you own a domain. So this is a public service announcement. I hate to see this happen to people. I hate to see people come to us frustrated, and all of the work they've done has been gone. I don't understand that kind of business practice. I couldn't ever do that to someone. And one of the things that's really important to us, even if people don't ask us, we make sure they know that they're going to own their website once it's done, that it's going to sit in their domain and it's theirs. It's not, you stop paying us, you lose it. If you're considering building a website or working with someone, just make sure you ask that question. Will I own it at the end? Who does the domain belong to? Don't let anybody else register your domain. Marketing agencies should help you to do it and make sure that you have the login and password to it. Very simple to do, but one of those key things that if you don't do it right, it could bite you later. All right, that's it. Bye.